Warning: this program contains content that is not appropriate for children. It contains vulgar language, retarded humor, and a bunch of weird-ass shit that no one will probably understand, including us. Therefore, it should not be viewed by anyone. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello there, chump and chumpettes out there in internet land. This is your host, John Christopher Wagner, along with my co-host,
James Michael Wagner.
And we welcome you to the very second episode of Forgotten Figures. What Forgotten Figures is it's a podcast that sheds light on different kinds of figures from various forms of media or religion or mythology that go back many, many years or maybe just a few years that really aren't discussed anymore or really are not in the public eye anymore. So we just kind of want to hopefully bring back some memories or introduce you to new figures or characters that you haven't heard of before.
So you can be a more well-rounded person.
Yes. So, without further ado, I will let James, my co-host, tell us what today's forgotten figure is. So, what do you have for us today?
Well, before I get into that, I want to explain the rules again. In this podcast series, one person does all the research on the forgotten figure in question, while the other person just sits back with a beer and hangs out and just goes along for the ride.
And takes it in the ass.
Yeah, so they can learn along with you in the audience. Now, of course, if they have pre-existing knowledge of this creature, that's fine. But they are not allowed under any circumstance to conduct any research once they know what the forgotten figure is. Because this way, if they know what it is, they can't accidentally fuck up and look up information about it. So on that note, I'll get to our next forgotten figure.
Just to let you know, the only thing I know about this forgotten figure is that it exists. That is it.
Well, you kind of know the description, I guess.
Yes, but as for background history, background information or history about it, I know nothing.
Okay, so he has a very limited working knowledge
here.
Extremely
limited.
The more limited, the better in this case.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, without further ado, I present to you, dear listener, our next forgotten figure, the Jackalope. And I want to lead off with a joke really quick that I made up myself before we delve into this very interesting character. What do you call a jackalope that gets eaten by another creature?
I have no fucking idea.
A snackalope. Boo-boo-ch.
That's lame.
Motherfucking blast beat. Okay, now we've come full circle.
It was so unfunny, it was funny.
No, I think it just wasn't funny, but... Okay. Now, in all seriousness, if you can even call it that, let's get right into it. We all know what a jackalope is, and if you don't, it's the mythical animal that is a jackrabbit with antelope horns. And it's described as a fearsome critter, which is part of North American folklore or lumberjack folklore.
Like Paul Bunyan and the Blue Ox?
Yes, and it says that it's a fabled creature that goes back in American culture since colonial days. Now, let's see, what do I want to talk about first? Yes. All kinds of countries have kind of their own version of this creature, but we're going to stick to the American version. Also, I don't want people out there to confuse the jackalope with rabbits that have the Shope papillomavirus. It's a virus that causes horn and antler-like tumors to grow in various places on a rabbit's head and body. So for those creatures, please give them the utmost respect and sensitivity.
For their medical illness.
Yes, for their dire medical condition. So I just want to reiterate that it's not the jackalope, but it might have inspired it. And all the other creatures in other countries.
Yes, the jackalope is fictional. The rabbits with their little medical conditions are just freaks of nature.
Yes. Okay, let's start off. The jackalope is a combination of two words, jackrabbit and antelope, like I mentioned earlier. There's a few problems with the name, though. Jackrabbits are actually hares, not rabbits. Hares are similar to rabbits, but a different animal.
Really, I thought they were the same thing. I thought they were interchangeable.
No, they're in the same order, like Lagomorpha. But no, they're both different species, I believe. Let's see. Oh, also, the antelope they're talking about in question because of the antlers is actually, there is no antelope in America. It's called a pronghorn. Although it's colloquially, bear with me here, listener. I'm trying to pronounce this word. I think it's colloquialism. Colloquially named, if that's a word. It's like nicknamed an antelope. But there is no antelope in North America.
Okay.
It's a pronghorn. Antelopes are, I think, in Europe or other countries, but not over here. So the name of the jackalope already is shoddy at best, so we're not off to a good start here.
No, we're not.
Okay, let's see. Origins, we kind of covered that. They have rabbits like them let's see. I'm not going to go through all the information, but each country, like I said, has their own version of it, like in Persia, Europe, Asia, Central America. So let's go with the American one, which is the focus of this discussion, also known as the Douglas variant. The Failing New York Times attributes the American jackalope's origin to a 1932 hunting outing involving Douglas Herrick from 1920 to 2003 of Douglas, Wyoming. Him and his brother were studying taxidermy by male teenagers, and when the brothers returned home from a hunting trip with jackrabbits, Herrick tossed the carcass into the taxidermy store, where it came to rest beside a pair of deer antlers. The accidental combination gave him the idea for the jackalope. On this note, I also want to mention is a lot of times jackalopes, when you see them mounted, have deer antlers, which are not antelopes and not pronghorns. So it just gets more fucked up. Those are not the real ones you want with the deer antlers. But that's
so there's an incorrect version of the fictional animal.
Apparently. If you could keep all that shit straight. Okay. So anyway, they got the idea to make the jackalope thing. They slapped it together and sold it for $10 to a guy called Roy Ball, who displayed it at the Douglas La Bonte Hotel. Well, unfortunately, the mounted head was stolen in 1977. But it was too late. The damage was already done because jackalope became a popular local attraction in Douglas, Wyoming, where the Chamber of Commerce issued jackalope hunting licenses to tourists. Now, pay attention quick if you want to get in on jackalope hunting season. The tags are good for hunting during the official jackalope season, which only occurs for one day, June 31st. A non-existent date is June has 30 days. So it's a non-existent date for a non-existent animal.
That's the shortest hunting season, I think, in existence.
Oh, it gets much shorter. It's only from midnight to 2 a.m. And the hunter must have an IQ greater than 50, but not over 72. Which essentially means all Democrats can hunt.
Cool.
Thousands of licenses have been issued. In Herrick's hometown of Douglas, there's also an 8-foot statue of the jackalope. They just love the jackalope. And the town hosts an annual Jackalope Day celebration in early June. So that's kind of the background on the jackalope. Okay, now let's get into actually more of the jackalope. I also want to add, according to another source, the first jackalope was spotted around 1829. I'm not sure where this fits in. This source might be indicating the jackalope is a real creature.
It seems like we might have contradictory information.
Yes, because it goes back to colonial times, the story. But then it says that it was the first jackalope was mounted in, what date did I say? In a 1932 trip. So you could argue that people knew about the jackalope since colonial times, but they didn't actually see one until 1829, I guess.
But this is
so they happened to see something that was part of that they made up, the actual thing.
This is common, though, for legends that are passed down orally through generations that aren't written down, like Greek mythology or the Legend of Zelda series. Because since nothing's written down, people will end up hearing the story wrong, or they'll tell their own version of it, and then eventually nobody knows which is the correct interpretation because there's no official document saying which is the correct interpretation. So, and that's how a lot of like mythology and stuff and like Legend of Zelda is, like I said before. So this is common that the jackalope would be like this, I guess. So there will be things I'm assuming we won't know for sure.
So the background of the jackalope, much like his name, is very faulty with the dates.
It is fucked up.
Like I said, they could have seen it they could have came up with it in colonial times, and then they first saw it in 1829. So that means that they saw the animal that was in the story they came up with a long time before that. But then we have the 1932 hunting trip when they made the first one. So who knows?
So to all those nerds out there who want to try to put together the Legend of Zelda timeline, when you're finished with that, put together the Jackalope timeline.
Okay, so let's get into more information about the actual jackalope.
Okie dokie.
Okay, jackalopes are also nicknamed the warrior rabbit and the horny rabbit. I'll get to that in a second. But they're nicknamed the warrior rabbit because they're very dangerous. So if you participate in the hunting season of jackalopes, make sure that you wear stovepipes on your legs to keep from being gored by them.
What's a stove? What do you mean, the thing for the stove? Like the metal thing?
I think so.
Like the metal cylinder the smoke comes out of?
I think so.
Dude, that's badass.
Jackalopes don't fucking mess with the jackalope.
Yeah, you don't fuck around with the jackalope. That's all I can say.
Okay. Also, jackalopes, what they will do is another common feature they have or trait is that they can mimic human voices or imitate them, like according to legend.
What, like parrots?
Yes. It says during the days of the Old West, when cowboys gathered by the campfire singing at night, jackalopes could be heard imitating people or mimicking their voices, or they would sing along, usually as a tenor.
So the jackalopes, do they actually understand English, or are they like parrots where they just mimic the sound, but they really aren't talking because they don't understand it?
I did not find that in my research.
Okay,
so the intelligence.
Okay, so that's inconclusive. Okay.
Yes. Another interesting feature about the jackalope. So this you'll really want to pay attention to. And this pertains to them being the horny rabbit.
Now, are they horny because they like to get laid? Or is it a different reason?
No, but in a way they can help you get laid.
I gotta hear this.
You see, jackalopes have milk. You can milk jackalopes. And the milk from a jackalope is believed to be a powerful aphrodisiac.
Oh, like human noses from Futurama.
Exactly.
For the Omicronians, which they called human horn.
Yes. But be warned, listener, because jackalopes are very dangerous to milk, so any attempt is not advised.
Yeah, you don't want to be killed. They can stab you through the throat or...
But the one advantage of jackalope milk is that it already comes homogenized.
Now, is the jackalope milk filled with vitamin R, like the rat milk from The Simpsons?
Vitamin G for jackalope.
That Bart was served in the public school because they were too cheap to buy cow milk with vitamin D or whatever?
Yes, and the explanation for why it's homogenized already is because of the creature's powerful leaps.
As in jumping?
Yes.
Okay. So instead of quantum leap, we have jackalope leap.
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
But the most interesting feature about jackalope is the mating season. Because where do more jackalopes come from? Well, according to that, a jackalope is the product of a male jackrabbit and a female antelope.
Yay!
Interspecies breeding.
Interspecies sexual relations.
Don't want to see a video on that. But also, there's more to it. I guess jackalopes can do the nasty with each other apparently. And they have to have the right mood to get busy. Oh, yeah.
Please elaborate on the right mood.
Well, apparently, jackalopes become very vocal before thunderstorms. And this is because they only mate during lightning flashes, or so it is theorized, which explains the rarity of the species. Now, just to give you an idea of this, a lightning flash is about 0.2 seconds.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Now, I'm going to get a little scientific up in here, like the Big Bang Theory.
Oh my god, are we actually going to get educational?
Yes.
Edutainment.
A lightning flash or discharge is actually made up of much shorter flashes, which are also called strokes. Those are 30 microseconds apiece.
He said strokes.
Stroke. So what you do is you take a bunch of strokes, put them together, and you get a flash. That's what we mean when we say lightning flash, is the whole discharge. And like I said, the shorter ones are 30 microseconds apiece. The big one is 0.2 seconds. So I'm assuming when they say jackalopes do it during lightning flashes, they mean the whole
0.2 second one.
0.2 second one, the whole shebang.
Because that would be more than enough time for them to get busy. The little ones,
microseconds,
those are too short for them.
Yes. So basically, what the point of this is jackalopes would make a very shitty porn movie, unless of course. Because think of it as like Bruce Lee, where he was so fast on film, they had to slow down the footage so you could see what he did.
Yeah.
So jackalopes is if there's a jackalope porn movie, they have to slow down the footage. Otherwise, you'd never see anything. So also, when you hear the expression that, people, when they do it, somebody will say, oh, they're like a 5-minute man.
Yeah.
Well, a jackalope is a 0.2 second man.
And you can take that to the bank.
No, you can take that to the spank bank.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Now, there is a way to catch jackalopes that makes it easier, that can aid you in your quest if you so choose to pursue these creatures. Apparently, jackalopes are very fond of whiskey. That's why we saw the jackalope logo on that whiskey bottle at that wine store.
Now, do they have a particular brand of whiskey they like?
I could not find that. It was just whiskey in general.
And also, since bourbon is a type of whiskey, I wonder then if they like bourbon as well.
Yes. I also believe the bottle we saw was very expensive at the store, which was called, what was the wine store called? Total Wine.
Yes.
Yes, that's where we saw it. The bottle. Because once the animals become intoxicated, they get slower and easier to hunt. Now, this is interesting because if I remember correctly, Krampus was fond of some kind of liquor. Which was that?
I don't remember.
Well, if you ever want to see mythological creatures in the open, you might as well just attend an AA meeting. Well, hey, if you don't see anything, at least else you'll. If you don't see anything else, you'll at least see Krampus and the Jackalope.
Yeah. So when the Jackalopes get wasted on whiskey, it's called Jackalope while intoxicated.
What?
Jackalope while intoxicated.
Oh, okay. So don't drink and drive, Jackalopes and Krampus. Oh yeah. One thing I forgot to mention earlier is when you try to catch a jackalope, be warned though they will try to trick you because
like Bugs Bunny.
Yes, they'll call out such phrases.
Yeah, what up, motherfucker?
They'll call out such phrases as "There he goes over there" to try and throw pursuers off its track. That's why you lure it with whiskey because then it's like. And it won't be able to talk.
You would hit inebriation. Inebriation aids you in your quest. Because a jackalope becomes stupid.
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna go into some more fun facts about jackalopes.
Oh, that's great.
Here we have the size of jackalopes.
And when size, you mean their whole body, not the other size, right?
No, not sausage size.
Your size matters.
So for jackalopes, also known as the Lepus temperamentalis, that's, I guess, the Latin name.
Sure, okay.
Size, males to 24, females to 20,
24 what, inches?
It just is question mark.
Okay.
I'm assuming it would be inches.
I've never seen a question mark used as a form of measurement before, but okay.
So males are a little bigger than females, which is common with lots of animals.
Yeah.
So on to the weight. Average is 6 to 8 pounds, but they can get up to 12 pounds.
That's one big fat jackalope.
Yes. And for horns, they can be up to 12 inches across, and then 2 to 3 points are common.
Okay, so now we have inches as a measurement.
Yes.
Okay.
And you know what I'm talking about with the points.
Yeah.
So, like, bucks have points.
Yeah.
Not a lot of points, but for jackalope. The coat is tawny brown, lighter on chest and underside. And their disposition is secretive, easily agitated. And their habitat is grasslands and KOA campgrounds. Now, they're mostly in the west, like in Wyoming and stuff.
Okay.
Range is western North America into Canada. Mating ritual, I already covered that, only during intense lightning strikes. So apparently it's now intense lightning strikes, not just lightning strikes.
Yeah, there's a difference, folks. You have to remember that.
Population is less than 10,000. This is according to the 2000 consensus. Predators are taxidermists and tourists. That should be pretty easy because we kind of...
You know, when you're driving your car, much like our Two Devils cartel, they just walk right into your car and get run over?
Possibly.
When they're inebriated, they will.
Yes, definitely. Their status is endangered to threatened. And some traits are...
Man, we need to get the Wildlife Federation on this to save them, you know, like the snow leopards and shit.
Yes. They're sure-footed and agile, nocturnal, opportunistic, crude ability to mimic campground chatter. We covered that. Their fondness for whiskey. We covered that. And apparently they also like Harley-Davidson oil lines.
Interesting. Never would have guessed that.
I'm assuming that's on motorcycles.
I would believe so.
And they will attack if cornered or provoked.
Does it say what they do with the Harley-Davidson motor lines?
I don't know. They just have an interest in them.
I guess
I never found a mention anywhere
play
else.
with them, eat them, fuck them. I don't know. Well, inconclusive.
Well, maybe not eat them because I have their diet right here.
Okay.
Their diet is various kinds of grasses, beanie weenies. For those of you who don't know what beanie weenies are, they're little baked beans
with pieces of hot dogs in
yes,
them, right?
and s'mores.
Cool.
You know, the campfire food.
Yeah, I wonder if they eat the ones with the Hershey bars and the Hershey's with almonds.
Or dark.
Or dark Hershey bars.
Well, we'll have to find out. So you can apparently put those out and probably try to catch them with those. Also, it says jackalopes are extremely shy unless you approach them. And if you encounter a jackalope, and I cannot stress this enough, is you quickly fall to the ground and you remain calm and still while humming the Roy Rogers song, Happy Trails to You.
In other words, the Mark Belling outro song.
Yep, the Mark Belling outro song. Okay.
Do you have to do this in the fetal position?
It says you just quickly fall to the ground.
Okay, so fetal position is optional, folks.
Yes, it's your call. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have here? I went through the origins of the jackalope. Okay. I covered the lightning flash thing, blah, blah, blah. Oh. And another thing with jackalope is they've been trying to get official recognition for a while. Because in 2005, the legislature of Wyoming considered a bill to make the jackalope state the official mythological creature. Apparently, the bill keeps failing, but they keep trying to pass it.
Good use of taxpayer money.
Yes. Well, it actually is, considering most of the shit the government does.
Yeah, it actually is better.
Yeah, I'd rather see it go into that than welfare.
Or shrimp on a treadmill.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, and then in 2014, the Wyoming Lottery adopted the Jackalope logo for its lottery tickets and marketing materials. So now we're gonna get into like Jackalope merch, Jackalope and pop culture, all the fun stuff. Because Jackalope's not totally dead in pop culture. It might be on life support, but it's not dead yet.
Because we're bringing it back.
Yep.
We have resuscitation equipment, and that's what we're going to do.
Okay. In general, the jackalope has appeared in a wide range of things in pop culture. Everywhere from stories, poems, television shows, video games, and movies.
So it spans the board.
Yes, it's everywhere, but you don't see it everywhere. One thing of note is in 1986, James Abner, a senator from South Dakota, gave U.S. President Ronald Reagan a stuffed jackalope during a presidential campaign stop in Rapid City. So the jackalope does go all the way to the White House.
Yeah, I wish the jackalope became president. Would have been better than Obama.
Yes. Jackalopes have also appeared in movies and on television. The most famous of which is the jackalope named Jack Ching Bada Bing from America's Funniest People.
See, that may have been the first time, because we were kids when that was on.
Yes.
So that may have been the first time that I ever heard of the jackalope or saw one.
Now I'm going to pop you a question. Who did the voice for it?
Beats the shit out of me. I have no idea.
Dave Coulier. You know Joey from Full House.
Joey from Full House. Or Stryker from Mortal Kombat 3.
Yes, he played the jackalope.
Now, wasn't he also the host for the show?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so that makes sense why he did the voice for the jackalope.
Yes, and America's Funniest People was on, I know, late 80s, early 90s.
Yes, it was the sister show to America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yes. The jackalope was also, in 2003, it was featured in a short animation like video that Pixar made called Boundin', where the jackalope gave helpful advice to a lamb who was feeling sad after being shorn.
Okay, never heard of that.
Nope. But alas, there's other appearances too, like in video games. For example, in Red Dead Redemption, the player's able to hunt and skin jackalopes. So that's
sweet.
real grinding.
Oh, cool.
And in Redneck Rampage, jackalopes are the enemies, including one the size of a bus. And also, jackalopes are part of the action in Guild Wars 2. Now, on to jackalope in movies. There was a mockumentary film, which is like a fake documentary.
Yes, like This is Spinal Tap.
Yes. Low budget one, if I didn't mention that already, about jackalopes, called Steak Bunny. And it aired in Casper Douglas in 2006. The movie included interviews with the owner of a Douglas sporting goods store who claimed to have a live jackalope on his premises. And there was a paleontologist there who explained the natural history of the jackalope and its place in the fossil record. And then, of course, there's Jackalope on Beer, which I mentioned already.
I wonder why that mockumentary didn't win an Oscar.
Yes, I know. Oh, it's probably because Call Me By Your Name beat it to the punch.
Probably.
Okay. Now, I think the jackalopes are actually in some other states besides Wyoming. I think I have it here. Wyoming's the big one.
Oh, I have one last pop culture thing about the jackalope is that I believe on MTV Cribs, when they talked to Rob Zombie, he had one on his wall, like the head with the antlers, and he said that he ran over it in Wisconsin.
Okay, Wisconsin isn't mentioned here, but it could pop up here, especially if it makes its way here like so many other animals, like turkeys. Okay, so even if you're not in Wyoming, you still might be able to see one, because they also appear in Colorado and Nebraska. Now, Colorado, if Jake Panzer, if you're listening to this podcast and you want to do another concept album, I think I got your next idea for the concept album. You should probably know what I'm talking about, but just in case, it's the jackalope. And some of the cousins of the jackalope, which are in other countries, like Europe, is you have the Wolperdinger. That's a related creature to the jackalope. And in Sweden, you have a related species called the Skavator. Maybe they'll appear in future episodes, but for now, we just want to mention them. And across other countries, too, like I said before. And there's also a legend. Legend has it that the jackalope also bred with a camel to form the Jackalope. Just when you think it couldn't get any more fucked up, it just did. Really. I don't even know where to begin with that one. Well, we gotta say something to keep it going. We just can't have dead air.
Okay. I have some more jackalope jokes.
Okay, I think I've gone through all the information I want to, so let's jump into some jackalope humor.
Okay. What do you call jackalope that's high?
I do not know.
A jackadope.
Wow, that was actually better than mine.
Okay, what do you call a jackalope that masturbates?
What?
A jackalope.
Like Jack-Off-a-Saur from South Park. Okay. What do you call a female jackalope with huge tits?
I don't know.
A rackalope.
What do you call a jackalope that gets all the fine honey jackalopes?
What?
A Jackalope.
Oh, okay, I think I get that.
Because he's macking the honeys.
What do you call it when a jackalope, one jackalope gets another jackalope to go to bed with it?
I don't know.
A get in the sackalope.
What do you call a jackalope with huge balls?
What?
A huge sackalope.
I think I have another one. Let's see. Oh, what do you call a jackalope that doesn't use its full potential in something? Like school or work.
What?
A slackalope.
What do you call a jackalope that likes barebacking?
What?
A backalope.
What do you call a jackalope that I'm gonna say I think that takes speed.
Yeah.
Like drugs.
What?
A crackalope. I think speed is another word for crack.
I don't know.
I might have made a mistake here, but I couldn't say crack because then you would know what the punchline is. It might be, though.
How about a jackalope that likes asses?
What?
A butt crackalope.
What do you call a jackalope that counsels people, that tries to help them,
like a guidance counselor?
Yeah, like a guidance counselor,
or a life coach or something?
Yes.
I don't know.
A get back on trackalope.
What do you call a jackalope that joins a sports team in high school?
What?
A trackalope. He joins the track and field team.
Yeah, like the thing with that joke I made with the get back on track
SNL
thing
with Chris Farley.
Yes, get back on track like that guy. Yeah. Let's see.
What do you call jackalope whose name is Zach? A Zackalope.
Okay, now this is too stupid.
That sucks.
This is too stupid even for me. I think we exhausted all our jackalope jokes.
Yeah, jackalope also sounds like cantaloupe, but they're two different things.
Oh, what do you call a jackalope with dark skin?
I don't know.
A blackalope.
With dark fur.
You're right, yeah, dark fur. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's always good. We gotta throw in racist humor.
Or what do you call a jackalope that lacks certain desirable qualities and features?
What?
A lackalope.
Okay. that one's okay. Let's see, is there any other interesting information I have here about the jackalope?
Let's see, jackalopes might like cantaloupes because they rhyme, and it might also like jack-o'-lanterns.
Jackalope is a very fine piece of Americana. Fine piece of Americana.
Okay, so is there anything else you would like to add to the amazing jackalope?
No, I think that's about all the interesting stuff here.
Okay. So if you would like to learn more about the jackalope, please consult your library or the internet, since libraries are outdated.
But we still pay for them with tax money.
And bums like to sleep in them as well as piss and shit
in
them.
They're more like public toilets now
Yes.
for the homeless.
Yes.
So, if you're still alive out there, dear listeners, if you like this video, then please leave comments in the comment section below. Or if you don't like this video, if you didn't like it, do the same. And subscribe to our channel if you like the shit we make.
Yep.
And you can drop us a line with our email address or anything. And so you can.
That's the only way you can contact us.
Yes, and you can also leave comments for other videos we made.
Yep.
Too. I think I covered subscribe to the channel.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything else you wanted to add?
I don't know. Check out our Facebook, Twitter pages.
Yes, well, all the links are there.
MySpace pages.
Yes, all the links are there. So,
this is John Christopher Wagner.
And James Michael Wagner.
Peace out, bitches and bastards.
Yes, we're signing off. For John.
For John.